Okay. Heads up, eyes open. Heads up, eyes open. The fist clench. Y'all know this shit. How we do this shit. Let's get locked and loaded for another episode of Free 'em All Radio. We here, Intellectual Radio. Y'all can. Let's take a pause for the calls. You know what I'm saying? Let's make history. Let's take history. Let's tape history. That's what it is, y'all. Good. You know? We're gonna set up now. Okay. Weekly program hosted by yours truly, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. and also Robert Allen, a.k.a. the Lady Rage. Let's get locked and loaded for another episode, y'all. Y'all know them call in numbers 929-477-3785 and press 1 to enter queue. And now also 708-223-8953. We coming at you, man, every which way, including loose, you know what I'm saying? Through the YouTubes, the two cans in the string, you know what I'm saying? We coming at you, making history, taking history, and also taping history. That's what it is, y'all. Yes, we got a number of things addressed. These are intense times, you know what I'm saying? Intense time internationally as we speak. You know what I'm saying? It's hot. It's hot in Cuba. It's hot in Haiti. It's hot in Cuba. It's hot in Haiti. It's hot at the Hampton House. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about some discussions about what's going on in regards to assassinations. You know what I'm saying? Attacks, attempted assassinations. You name it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all feel free to call in. If y'all feel free to cub being with us, we're gonna get straight to it. Give us a heads up. Let me know we're ready. We'd like to load it. We got some callers coming in queue. I'm gonna get straight to it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get some up. I know a lot of people don't know in regards to updates in regards to what occurred. I initially said July 8th, approximately 1:30 in the morning, but we're going back and check. It's probably actually July 7th, the night of July 7th, late night, approximately 11:30 p.m. 804 South 17th Avenue. In regards to Hampton House being attacked, we're going to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Also, we're going to talk about the immediate response from the community, from the people. The people are our best security. The people are our best security. That's what it is. So let's get straight to it. Make history, take history, tape history. Give me Mr. Conway, give me here's if we got any callers in queue. You know, I got a couple of guests on deck with me. You know what I'm saying? If y'all while you putting those guests in queue, Mr. Conrad, give me here's who we got. That's your first time that you've been back with us. The second time, let the audience know who you are. You on those, you live and direct here, there, and everywhere.
Yes, sir. Free 'em all. It's an honor to be on here again with you, Chairman. Just ready to discuss some topics and revisit the proposal of the tour company so we can protect this legacy.
Sure, you right on.
Also, I just came back from riding down there with the Hampton family actually to go put the casing over the tombstone.
Yes.
And, I got some good footage of it as well. Can't wait to share that with y'all.
Right on. Can't wait for people to see that. Real talk. What we got here, brother? Let us know who you are.
Carlos Cole here, better known as Prophet. Here to share my experiences and things of that nature.
So you right.
Pleasure to meet you.
Man, good to have you here, brother. Again, welcome to Free 'em All Radio. We host the program. So y'all, for those who don't know, let your counterparts, let your colleagues, let your family know we here like clockwork every Wednesday 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. We have an international listener audience. We talk about everything that's going on inside the concentration camps to the community in general. So this again, we here consistently. 929-477-3785. Press 1 to be in queue, and also 708-223-8953. That's what it is. So to come right down, do we got any callers in queue? Free 'em all. I want to get us a couple of these calls. In the meantime, between Free 'em all. Callers in queue. Free 'em all. Free 'em all. Welcome to Free 'em all Radio. We hear you loud and clear. Yes.
I am, listen, it's so many flashbacks of things. Back in the 60s, naysayers were saying, we was talking about the state had a program, the war on the black community, and the number one threat to the internal security of the country was the Black Panther Party. And people would tell us, what the state want to mess with y'all for? Y'all not that important. People glamorize revolution a lot, and they think it's, getting a tam or a leather jacket or whatever hat and vest or whatever the Cubs are wearing, but they don't know a whole lot of threats come with this. A whole lot of trouble comes with this. It's just not a photo op. It's making sacrifice. And I want to say, when this thing went down at the Hampton House, I flashed back to when Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. had a case. And he had this particular lawyer, right? And these old white men came up in the law. This is downtown, where the white people be at. Not no more, but they used to be downtown. And this was like 11, 12 at night. These group of white middle-aged men came up into this office building with nothing in their hands, wearing trench coats, and then the laptop and the file for a case that Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. was fighting. It disappeared. There was no sign of break-in. There was some type of equipment used in the office. And the cameras in the building showed these same white men leaving with a laptop and some files. There just happened to be the information for the case that Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. was fighting. And the lawyer refused to say it was the FBI. I mean, they got the trench coat, crackers, what they do out every night. And then they came in empty-handed and leave with a laptop. Again, no signs of break-in, no glass broke, no door kicked in. You know what I'm saying? Just these white men. They on the white people take the building to leave. The same case he was fighting. The young lady was like a clerk for this lawyer downtown. She got bugged, and her backpack was taken with the notes and the information what they had on this case. Again, working on the same case. And the third strike, rather than on this, this was over in Africa, big old street, you know what I'm saying? All these black lawyers. And another attorney on the case was driven off a cliff and murdered, assassinated, also working on the case. So a lot of times people say, you boppers in their head. I think take a horse to the trough, but you can't make them drink. You bop them on their head with information that they don't believe is true. We can talk all day about the war that they have waged on us, and people tell us, I can't believe they do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what they do to us to stay. I always want to get a state out than what they're doing. And I'm just reminded of so many incidents, and I could be on here next Wednesday probably talking about all the attacks on Chairman Fred Hampton Jr.'s life, the attacks on Chairman Fred Sr.'s life, and the continued attacks on our people. And as we wake up and smell the coffee, hey, they'll be looking for us in the museum. And it's real. And just because you don't see it, don't mean it ain't happening. And I hope people come out and support. And let me say this too. Everything ain't bad. The community and people came out in huge numbers to secure the Hampton House and to do whatever needed to be done. And I was so proud and honored of that. To see that going on. There was no flyer put out. There was no press conference held. It was live on social media where it happened. And Stevie Wonder could see the glass when it kicked in, it was cut. So somebody coming prepared with burglar tools. So we got to wake up and smell the coffee and get busy and stop smiling and profiling and understand that we're under attack. And the great example of capitalism on its last dying legs, you see the attacks in Haiti, you see the attacks in Cuba, and the attack on the Hampton House. And the Cubs are fighting to defend the legacy of the Black Panther Party, which is constantly under attack by people even pretending to be Panthers and those who just come right out and announce they with the state. A lot of times they don't know they with the state. They think they're just doing their American duty. So I just wanted to say that, and listen to the show. I know this is a great one, like all of them are, but people better wake up. I hope people come out to the Hampton House. They're going to do an unveiling of the outdoor refrigerator this Saturday at 12 noon. People could come out, and then I think they had a Triple C, which is every Saturday, children, community, and cuz following that. But their garden is looking good. You can come out and pick some collard greens, but don't tear up the garden, so the stuff won't go bad. But if you don't know how to pick greens, tell somebody that know how, so they could show you how to do it correctly. Not that they're going to pick them for you, but I just wanted to say that. And long live the legacy of the Black Panther Party, long live the Black Panther Party, cuz long live Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. and the Black Panther Party fighting to defend the legacy of the Black Panther Party. And thank you for that.
Right on. We thank you, Fremont. We thank you. Again, this is again, y'all. We just see over there. Make yourself comfortable up, y'all. Again, y'all, that we just was honored. I was going, to have Mother Comrade Akua and Jerry from, Deborah Johnson, the widow of Chairman Fred Hampton, was there December the 4th, 4:35 a.m., approximately 4:35 a.m. in the morning. I was there also with her, but I just, for those who just coming in, just getting tuned, being brought up to speed, we're talking about the latest situation that occurred at the Hampton House, 804 South 17th Avenue, this July 7th. I thought it was July 8th, but July 7th, night of July 7th. House was attacked, and on the flyer, we drew the contrast of the door of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party that was shot up late July 1969, and there were two more documented, acknowledged attacks that occurred there. But that infamous scene of the door with the bullet punch marks in it, that was July 69. And we know it occurred several months after that, being December the 4th, 1969. We'll talk about this here now, you know what I'm saying? But I just this is a time when certain, this is terrible, as Chairman Mao Zedong said, it's terrible, but it's fine. It's a time when there's an acknowledgement of, certain dynamics, on an international level, terms and dynamics and contradictions such as assassinations. We can look back during the Black Power movement of the 60s, where the United States, like any other place location, did not operate in a vacuum, where it was discussions about political upheaval happening in the Philippines, Africa, Vietnam. There was discussion. There were terms such as colonialism, neo-colonialism. It was it was every day. It was no sidetracking about, well, that's that political stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was you heard terms like such as the Tet Offensive in Vietnam. You heard terms about what's going on, agent provocateurs and betrayal. You know what I'm saying? The ante was up. People, the limitations were not confined to that of the different ruling class political parties, be it Democrats, Republican. There was discussions being happening, political prisons being acknowledged. And we're in the state, and ironically, we're in the stage in the game right now, where people have to up there, as I said before, their political muscle has to be intensified, because I people say, well, people are not ready for that, Chairman. They're not ready for. Deal is there. This is not a scheduled basketball game with the system. So we'll wait till you catch up to your political maturity, catches up before we start for terms such as political imprisonment, terms such as assassinations are implemented. These are everyday realities. In fact, they have been happening. And they've been dormant, or people may have utilized euphemisms such as war on gangs or war on drugs. But we see right now is what I think it was Lenin said. Lenin said it takes people 20 years to learn in ordinary times. They can learn in 2 years in revolutionary times. And we come up the heels of reactionary times, but the ante is being upped, where you see the discussion of agent provocateurs, again, assassinations. And we're going to talk about what just occurred, in detail more, again, July 7th at the Hampton House. Another one of the close calls, and we just came again, just for those who just tuning in, we just came back from the grave site of Chairman Fred Hampton, where he's buried at, in which law enforcement annually shoot his tombstone up every year. And there were different positions taken. Some people saying, well, replace the tombstone. We like, no, that's, we relate more to the Emmett Till tactic. The world should see. There's so many cases people try to euphemize or water it down or push it back. know what I'm saying? We have to acknowledge these contradictions, you know what I'm saying? And we came to some point, even to we put a casing, not a covering over it, where you can still see through the tombstone, Chairman Fred, you know what I'm saying? Again, with law enforcement, and to shoot it up. And we have a statement from Deborah Johnson, I know it's cool in Jerry, a statement from myself. This discussion that we have to have, what's going down. We live and direct, y'all. Again, brother, you can tell us about, you know, the impact it had on you, you know what I'm saying, and what you thought about the trip going down south to Haynesville, Louisiana, to the tombstone.
Yeah, to be honest.
Again, let for those just tuning in, let the audience know who you are.
Right. How y'all doing? I'm Eric Smith, just a local man from the West Side. Just graduated from college this past spring. And just got up with the chairman to work to protect his legacy, honor his legacy. But like I was about to say, honestly, it was like a out of body experience. Like I couldn't really believe that I was dead the whole time. Just and just first to mention, I was just embraced with the most warm welcome, and I felt like I was a part of the family like immediately. So that was just a great feeling in itself. And then once we got down there and to witness, the what they do to the chairman's tombstone is despicable, and it's just kind of goes more to show like what my initiative is kind of protecting the legacy. Like that was like a literal action of protecting the legacy, and what I have planned is to continue to do that in the city of Chicago. Also, when I got back and got to sharing my experiences with my family members and people who come from the west side of Chicago, where the Illinois chapter did most of their work, they was telling me like, man, you realize you just witnessed history, you was a part of history, and like I said, out of better experience, it was an honor, and we just got to keep protecting this legacy, because they like Mama Kua just said, they out trying to attack us. We got to wake up and smell the coffee.
Real talk. How old are you, bro?
I'm 24 years old.
24, right on. Again, I'm not on deck, man. Real talk. I would also be talking up too about the tours that we talking about doing. Tours, we're talking about going about the Free Medical Center site, Black Panther Party, with the Free Breakfast Program, the programs instituted that. And we were talking about here, you talking about how you felt not growing up on that west side and not knowing, growing up in Henry Hornet projects, and a lot of people not knowing the history. Henry Hornet is actually, Henry Hornet was the late great Field Marshal George Jackson. Grew up at Field Marshal George Jackson was assassinated August 21st, 1971. Approximately a year and a few days after his brother Jonathan Jackson was assassinated. And these real models, not these role models, it's intense that people don't know about them. So this needs to be intertwined like everyday discussions. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about that. And brother, anything you want to add to them?
Yes, my name is Prophet. It's an honor to be here with you today, man. This is like a dream, man, to be able to share my adversities and my experiences. And as I sit here and speak, I represent, the characters of some of the finest characters that Chicago has ever known. They don't need no praise from me. Their name and their fame is the birthright to those before them and those coming before all generations. It's very important what we put into the youth here, because they represent the future. And though when we speak on the Fred Hamptons, the Malcolm X's, and things of that nature, we telling their story. And their story is very important because they was telling us about the things that they seen, that they experienced, and the things that was to come, and for us to prepare for. We wouldn't listen. You know what I'm saying? Now we have new leaders, we have new prophets, and I have come to learn through my experiences that true wealth is not material things, cars, clothes, and things that we try to gain, that the government dangle in front of our face and we kill each other for, and we have envy and division. Well, true power is knowledge, and knowledge represents light, because it wakes individuals up. Ignorance, or when you hear a person say a nigga, that's darkness. For so many years, I have been walking in darkness. meaning living the street life, chasing the things that was dangled in front of my face, the things that we see on TV, the things that we see in movies and things of that nature. And when it was dangled in my face, I used to reach out and try to grab it. And then when I reached out and tried to grab it, it was consequences. So the thing is this here. We need to really figure out what our true power is, what our true potential is. It is said that we have, as black people, a spending power of 1,300,000,000,000 a year. Now, what I don't like about that statement there, they said spending. What I like about the statement is power. So until we realize what our true power is and stop paying attention to all the things that's dangled in front of our face, because in the stock market, they say, hey, you want to make money? All you got to do is put a high price on it. The niggas don't buy it. So that being the case over the years, I'm 47 now. You know, rap music and, hip hop, our way of life, it was discouraged. The president, banned the Run DMCs and all them other rappers for waking up the people. Because they was bringing forth knowledge. They weren't rapping about killing and what they had and bragging and boasting and things of that nature. They was rapping about the things that our forefathers was talking about. They was bringing about a message. And that's what made Tupac great. Because he was bringing about a message about how we was treating the females, the girls, how we was treating each other. And he was talking to us, not in the sense about history in the way of, trying to aggravate and unite the discomfort of the powers of the will of the people. He was talking about those things because he realized what his true power was. The only thing he did was read, study, and when he read and studied, it made him great. You're not great for the things that you didn't have, what somebody else said about you. You're great for the things that you have done. I love this poem. It's written by Malcolm X, and it's dealing with being an example. And I'm going to close it with this. Malcolm X said, I would rather see a sermon than hear one any day. I would rather one would walk with me than merely point the way. The eye is a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Find counsel is sometimes confusing, but an example is always clear. The best of all the teachers are those who live their creeds. To see, to put in action is what everyone needs. I can soon learn to do it if you let me see it done. I can see your life in actions, but your tongue too fast may run. The lessons you deliver may be fine and true, but I'd rather give my lessons by observing what you do. I may misunderstand you in the high advice you give, but there's no misunderstanding how you act and how you live. It's a prophet here. Pass it on.
Yes, indeed. Right on. We live and direct. Live and direct and free on our radio, Intellectual Radio, making history, taking history, and taping history, y'all. That's what it is, y'all. We got some. We got some calls coming in the queue in a minute. This is tense times. Some of our earlier climate. Contrast the Black Power movement in the 60s. Again, political upheaval. What's happening? What's happening in Cuba? What's happening in Haiti? There's, I was just having a discussion earlier with somebody talking even the history of Haiti. Some people say Haiti. Contrast between Haiti and Dominican Republic, and even though Haiti stands out by representing the first Black free republic that shaking yokes of imperialism. However, the imperialism has still been waging attack on this country. It's still placing it in debt. So that's the deal we're talking about. That what's happening. I think about approximately 50 families, French families, still in control of resources in Haiti. Different forms of chemical, biological warfare. That's we've seen even the World Health Organization, when they were doing these tests with these pigs in Haiti. Then they said they were doing the tests, and they placed the pigs in the most disenfranchised, the most starving communities. We've seen male children being born with breasts, even different dynamics, you know, in the history, like even of neo-colonialism. In fact, Chairman Fred talked about Haiti, gave the example about Papa Doc in Haiti, and he said, he was talking with another group. They talking about the credit union, and Chairman Fred was saying, "I need to know your political education is at," and the cats was saying, really just go to somebody credit union. The credit union is. And Chairman Fred said, "Yeah, we hit the credit union and laid out basic layman terms. Cats had to get some money, so on and so forth." But Chairman Fred said, "Again, I need to know something about your political education." Because and Chairman Fred pushed the dynamic. He gave examples, gave knowledge. He say, man, you have cases, and this is mind you. We're talking about 1969. Chairman Fred talking about Papa Doc in Haiti. He said, man, Papa Doc in Haiti, man, you couldn't put a white piece of paper for the Papa Doc. To how much he claimed, the white man was, they were successful overthrowing the white man. And Papa Doc himself became the oppressor. And Papa Doc, Chairman Fred said, we need to know again your political education. Because we're not just talking about the white man or oppressor. In other words, we're talking about the constitution, but colonialism, neo-colonialism, so on and so forth. And this is still relevant, especially at the time when people talk about we can become free, just the economics and there are resources flowing through the black community. One way or another. But you have genocide, some people refer to as fratricide, but genocide happening, in intense levels. We get, blatant contradictions. Blatant contradictions. Cat come out inside the infamous Cook County Jail 2 days ago, shot 58 times. This is in front of the Cook County Jail. And the audacity, the ruling class, and the typical state history, protocol, modus operandi, to flip the script and blame the victim and say, well, this person shouldn't be getting out of jail. They should be on this the superintendent of police, Chicago police, said that this man should, the fact that he's getting out of jail, this is really about him being murdered. So this whole dynamic about the political, this is the politics, nothing less than political knowledge can be laid out. What's going down in Chirac, like we said again, they have issued that term. We add on to the old axiom, God created Africans and America made niggas, the man's the machine manufactured Chirac. We live in direct history of making history, taking history, and when we talk about these dynamics, not only we talk about the assassination attempts on revolutionaries, but again, you put in contrast what's going down in the community, because again, the vanguard, the tip of the spear, it may become a little more intensified. It is more intensified, but these contradictions are happening to some degree to the community in general. You go back and look at the roll call, 1969. Look at James Gloves Davis history. James Gloves Davis, who was one of the Negro pigs who came on assassination December 4th, 1969. Look at his history, how he was known to come to the community, those leather gloves on. We did it at Marshall High School when he come through the vice lords and the stones, the vice, particular vice lords and the cyclists on the west side. And similar to these recent attacks we've been subjected to, the Agent Vacateurs, even said that our organization, the Black Panther Party Cubs, the informants on ourselves. You go back and look, they have been utilized and they're being utilized on other organizations. However, we are blessed and burdened to be able to politically sum it up. What's happening? A lot of people just water it down. Like I say, though Chairman Fred, my father, was assassinated in a brutal way, in a graphic way, they attempted the system to take the attempts and it successfully takes all of our fathers and mothers one way or another by shooting them down, stringing them out, locking them up, punking them out. In other words, killing them one way or another. And the deal is, I was like the other members of the indigenous community, it said, well, Geronimo or the Apaches, the soldiers said, you're making it bad on us. And Geronimo said, no, I'm guilty of exposing what's happening to, what's been happening to y'all, calling it out, That's a crime, so be it. We live and direct, making history, taking history, y'all. Give us a heads up, we got any calls in queue. Hey, you want to say on this a minute? Good. Super. We got some, we talking about different dynamics, talking about hip hop, some other stuff, I know in addition to your resume of the Source magazine, other stuff that you have done. For those who just tuning in, give us the background, who you are, and first let me say, welcome to Fremont Radio. I also want to say this too. I know one of the things, one of the issues that we talked about, you were talking about checking too, and I don't know those who have missed it, they shouldn't have missed it, but this recent, it wasn't even a parole hearing, but the case of long-held political prisoner Larry Hoover, chairman of the board, chairman Larry Hoover case was being brought back up, and those in the state case, the co-defendants were released, and this is a clear example of his real quote unquote crime. No logical, legal justification for denying him release, but he just was released. And there's been a lot of discussion about the case of Larry Hoover. Let's get the word. I think 2 days ago, was denied. And this case, and like so many other cases in the city of Chicago in particular, case of Jeff Ford, Chief Malik, I'm saying I'm saying these cases in particular because similar to what I just said earlier, because that people don't want to acknowledge the political correlation to it does not make it not political. Everything is political. Everything is political. Words, terms, fashion, you name it. And we do an extra disservice when we attempt to say, well, just don't acknowledge it, don't say it. You know what I'm saying? Because the reality is, whether we do everything from crack cocaine to chillers to political prisoners, it's political. And the deal is we have to heighten those contradictions, be upfront about it, let's be real clear what the reality is about this. But again, for those who just tuning in with us and who may not familiar with your background, give us a little background of who you are and what some of the stuff that you've been working on lately.
Thank you.
Take us back also past the generation too, because I know that's the source. Some people might say,
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, okay.
Well, it's an honor and pleasure to be here. And this is my first time here, getting to see you in action.
Right on.
Looking good and sounding great. So I appreciate you having me on. But yeah, my name is Dave Mays, and I created the Source magazine back in 1988. I was a student at Harvard and was hosting a radio show on the Harvard radio station that was playing like all classical music at the time, and I was doing a hip-hop show on like Friday night, late night, and the Source ended up becoming a newsletter for a mailing list of listeners to my radio show. The show got kind of big in Boston. It was people all around the city listening to the radio show, and then that gave birth to the Source. So it was a one-page newsletter. Built it up for a couple years, and then moved down to New York after college. And in the 90s, the Source magazine became the #1 selling music magazine on newsstands in the world. Outsold Rolling Stone, 9 million readers a month. Of course, the Source, was instrumental in helping to elevate hip hop and provide a platform and a voice for the hip hop community, particularly at the height of hip hop being really a social and political and empowering kind of movement. So yeah, I ran the Source. I started the Source Awards. Produced all of those. Everyone, you guys have seen. I think it was about 7 or 8 of them. But yeah, so now I went on and did some work with Hip Hop Weekly, helped create that. Ran that for a while, and then a few years ago, I created Dave Mays Media. I actually moved out here to Chicago, and been kind of back and forth between DC and Chicago. DC is, my hometown, born and raised. But I fell in love with Chicago, coming out here and learning a lot more about the city and a lot of the people from the city, and I just really felt, an attraction to be here and to want to be a part of this and to try to, do some positive things out here.
Well, glad to have you here. Glad you came in the studio with us. I was just coming just now, and it's a hell of a time. And just even everything is political. Like I'm sure you heard about the case. This is like every day case of young cat. I think they shot 58 times from the county jail. And like even some of the contrast, times. 96, yeah. Which you like even initially because we say art reflects what's going down in a particular climate, and let me ask you, what you said today, like contrary, like even now, like even with the source early on, in fact, I can't recall what year they had. I was in Tams, Supermax, and they had a piece about me in there. But how important do you see it as that correlation with the music and the political conditions of what's going on? How making that correlation yourself, or something? Was it like music? Was it? Did you just say, okay, that's music, that's politics? How important that connection be made, be acknowledged?
Yeah, I mean, to me, music is one of the most powerful influences on the planet, in terms of something that can influence people's hearts and minds and emotions, the way they think, everything. So it's a very influential, industry and business when you think of that, so you said the music and
the climate, the conditions,
the climate of it was
right. On the ground, what's going on? What like that correlation? Is it some artists take the position where I'm not political. I'm just going to be apolitical. And then there's certain times when the ante is up, where there's where it's reflected. They're attempting to take a neutral position, and that being neutral is actually a position. So you say I don't. When all this stuff, when you have a climate where everything, the laws, everything, saying, even we talk about people who say, I think in the case with A$AP Rocky, who was out of Australia, outside the country, got locked up.
Yeah, Sweden,
and where no one is, saying there used to be a time where some people who have a certain amount of resources, or they can be in a bubble for a certain amount of time, but not every day. Regardless of how much finance you have, how much fame you have, no one is negated from the contradiction, whether it be the coronavirus or they fighting the case. It's interrelated. But some people, we got to say it, people become conscious or get involved in struggle one of three ways: inspiration, aspiration, or desperation. And the case of in prisons, a lot of times artists, they come to grips with it in a reactionary sense, like, okay, now I'm locked up, now it's a problem. But as opposed to there was certain periods of time where there's a climate, not just an absolute force and the onus of responsibility on the artist, but it's a discussion that's being had. You can't dodge. You can't take a break. So I'm going to listen to the radio and just I don't want to hear about the police killing nobody. You know what I'm saying? And how so in the magazines and in the airwaves, it's
I guess what really changed was back in the 80s and the 90s, hip hop was still really more independently controlled, and over time, as the major record companies got more involved in different things, happened, like the death of Tupac, or the assassination of Tupac, is how I tend to think about it.
Yes, it is.
So in years after that, the music industry got more control over hip hop, and a lot more money is being made, so that gives people, certain, pathway to, follow and to hang on to. But like you said, the responsibility, it was more a part of it because it was more grassroots. It still had much more of a connection to the streets.
Yeah.
Even through a magazine like The Source, because like I was saying about music, media is that other most powerful thing that influences people. So those things, in my mind, always kind of figured together, and what I've been doing, and the way I think about hip hop and what its role can be. But as time went on, it's become dominated by commercial music business, and we've lost that connection between the music and the movement and the social and political. There's some of it there, but it's not powerful like it was, the way it was working together. As the gentleman mentioned before, like with artists like Tupac, bringing this type of consciousness. So,
I was coming up in high school. I actually went to high school in Alexandria, Virginia, you know where it is. But I remember Wayne Thug, particularly, like just straight up dismissed the whole Black Lives Matter movement, Mike Brown killing Africa, and also another little point that you made about the music being reflective of the political climate. While I was out in school, that was when Chief Keef came out, the whole drill thing took off. That was really how I tapped into like seeing in the city while I was going to school. Really seeing like all this, guys my age really out here, in the streets, and it's really like dangerous and vicious out here right now. And then that would kind of prepare me for when I had to come back home. I came back home for this break.
Excuse me, can you explain what the drill, what does that mean?
Yeah. So drill scene is, I'm not a drill rapper myself, but I would just say it's music that's kind of reflective of the gang culture in the city. It's kind of like, like an anthem that you ride out to. Whoever coming hard, whoever the hardest this against the opposite. Something like that. That's what the drill scene is fueled by.
I mentioned this recent situations, some cases. How old are you again? 24. Is it common discussion like the case of hearings about Larry Hoover? Was it known? Amongst your peers, was it?
It was brought up a little bit, but it was on Twitter, but it was captured.
Yeah.
So, they always try to paint the Hoover as chief of police.
Yeah.
He was actually like a community statement. So, those discussions weren't being had, but I believe that the generation right now is really dismissive of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
What do you feel that your generation is listening to? Who is the big leaders? Who is what is causing them to do what they do? It's real.
Like I said, I don't want to speak for the whole generation, but I do. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm pretty aware of what's going on in the city. And right now, people listen to themselves. I would say, and that's like the chairman I would say that's political. The state has a lot to do with that. With the infestation of crack, breaking up black families. And, the most recent crazy political figure, which is Obama. How that kind of just creates like when Obama was in office, that created like a dial down the political awareness of black community. Kind of made people more susceptible to what's going on right now, like what's happening in Afghanistan.
The tag team with you. I'm definitely not from the teenage years. I'm older than that. However, I just want to say this to the older. I appreciate your assessment, and I respect it, because I think it's a position as victims of this system to take an area and say it's something that we've done on our own, whether the type of music that we coming out with. And the deal is that it's embarrassing being oppressed. A lot of times we try to jive ourselves about it. And the reality is, we get, it's reflective, like of the conditions, like even. I don't think it's about happenstance. Hip hop never really blew up big in Chicago. Chicago was like an organizational place, a structured place. In fact, Chicago was the last major city that crack cocaine was introduced into. And there were certain forces that had to be removed. Fluky Stokes had to be murdered, Ford G. Malik had to be locked up. And one of America's policy when it comes to organizations, when it comes to music, is to create chaos, then restore order. Create chaos, then restore order. It was, and I tell you, we don't draw the correlation to the political significance of music, whatever the state does. In fact, at the federal court hearing, federal trial of Larry Hoover, the state actually played some of the excerpts from the Ghetto Boys in the federal court. And, so he was talking about the prison system. So I recall even in Menard prison, Southern Illinois, the Ghetto Boys tape, that we had to move that underground. A speech where I was speaking, I moved it underground. And like anything, again, like you seen Anticipate, he come down even just with the name change from Gangster Disciple to Growth and Development. You seen like even Willie Lord, the Vice Lords, initially when he was released from Logan, when he came out the front page of Chicago Tribune, headlines read, a lot of the Al Capone, the fur coach, all that. But then when the Lord came down to City Hall with us to put forward the African anti-terrorism bill, some of the terrorism that our people get subjected to under such euphemisms as police brutality. We say no, it's police terrorism. You know what I'm saying? And when he took that stand, you see the intensified heat come down on him. And you know what I'm saying? And you go back in the case of the 60s with Blackstone Rangers, the Black Keystone Nation, and you'll see to more nationalist stand, you see that heat come down. So we're told directly, indirectly, what to say, what not to say, what music, what to put out. What they put out. You know what I'm saying? Catch, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, catch, like Park even said, like in the schools, you know what I'm saying? You know who to mention, who not to mention. So it's flattering to say that it's something these youth on their own just jumped up with this type of music and started saying certain things, you know. But the reality is, you know, you want to get airplay, you know how many niggas and bitches to say your song with the push, you know what I'm saying? And you could, if it was just Chicago, I say, okay, so be it. But you can literally turn on call your counterparts in Detroit and Cleveland and LA, 7 in the morning. Just say, man, what you listening to? You know what I'm saying? Even the video games, you know what I'm saying? So it's intentional. And power, as Minister Dewey P. News said, power is the ability to define a phenomenon and make it act in desired manner. And the deal is, you say, okay, this is a phenomenon. And Reverend Nat Turner, he was a realist. He put his ear to the ground, saying the church was a phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? He said, okay, now how can we work this? You know, he defined it. He said, okay, praise the Lord, pass the admonition. Harriet Tubman took the Negro spirit. We impacted, you know what I'm saying? No, non-independent people don't make independent decisions. So it's hilarious when people ask questions, you know, why y'all doing this and that? And you get, you know what I'm saying, people start calling their own, why, you know what I'm saying, why we decided to start selling this and start doing this. The police tell you, they pull you over, get more time, we want the guns, but you go to drugs. That's telling you what to do, what not to do. And we have to be upfront about that. But power, as you've seen, you know what I'm saying, in the 60s, the movement up the other end, where Marvin Gaye was able to go against Barry Gordy, you know what I'm saying, it was Motown Records. I'm gonna put this song out. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Whether you like it or not, he had the support of the people. It was a climate. James Brown had a whole totally different song playing the first. We're talking about, see, I'm black and I'm proud. H.R. Brown, I know it's Evangeline Lamine, literally drove down on him. So you better go back to the studio with that garbage you're talking about. He didn't pull this thing, he pulled the Rocky movie with the red, white, blue drawers, which I'm living in America. Fast forward. A lot of people just think when Kanye West said about George Bush, not like black people, like he just had some bitch. No, we set his ass down at Borders Bookstore, north side of Chicago. $8 when he said that shit. You know what I'm saying? We up there. You'll be surprised. Oh, you goddamn right. See, movements, dog wag the tail don't wag the dog. And they give the people an impression that the music dictates. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm X was doing an interview, and the guy said, well, Malcolm, what if Jackie Robinson disagrees with your position about violence? Malcolm X said, hold on, wait a minute. We don't be quoting no Bob Hope or no Marilyn Monroe for your people. You know what I'm saying? There's a role for that. See, Rome was strategic. They had a special gallery they were running entertainment through. You know what I'm saying? And they're held up as a spokesperson. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see Bob Hope as no spokesperson for the community. You know what I'm saying? It's a role they can play. That's what the Black Panther Party cuz have, the code and culture. We said, there's two of them motherfuckers in the same catch me on some bling bling. We came on Dave Chappelle block party. We wanted to listen to I want to shout out my homie. We put out the case of political prisoners. Against a lot of people who said, man, you should be doing it. You should be saying that. You say anything. You know what I'm saying? We up the ante. Shauna had a CD, a song. I came on them motherfucker. Dropped that Panther Cub political appeal in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? About the issue. Not bombarding with the abstract conscious thing, you know what I'm saying? With the deal like Park, you know, you put it in there. But it got to be tied to some political organizing. It just can't be this, you know, this just the music, this just the streets, this just the entertainment, the football play, movies, everything. We had Richard Pryor I was talking to education this morning, about the whole thing with Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was impacted by the Black Panther Party. So Richard Pryor called him, who was the lounge, some lounge that they came to. He invited Chairman Freddie to come to the lounge. He come down there, Chairman Freddie Panther Party program to him. He donated $1,000 to the free breakfast program. You done had this narcissistic, arrogant motherfuckers running around to they got all these resources and we want to do no support for the struggle. The comedian Nipsey Russell, talking about he met my mother. She was on the finance committee. She wanted to go talk to him. She's 7.5 months pregnant. He said she come up here talking about donate to the Panther Party program. He said, I ain't giving no guns. He said, shit, I put an envelope money up on the free breakfast program. See, I was asking earlier, a lot of times people come to it in a reactionary sort of way, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, he turns more than me black. He turns more than me black. Michael Jackson person don't make a difference, you black or white. When that case come down the toll chain, they don't care about us. You know what I'm saying? So the heat has to be on, and consistently that people are organizing, recognize everything is political. The terms you say, the music you say, all that is not this subjective. A lot of times people have in this climate too, like a lot of y'all, like say, even in the movie, Judas and Black Messiah, that was intentional that we had certain scenes. That was the first time a lot of cats even seen that scene when he walks up to the door, that structure. A lot of cats never seen that, the organizational question. You know what I'm saying? The scene when they go up into the crowds, even you didn't see no body next to other people. I watched a lot of cats who can't go to a meeting with them. You know what I'm saying? They're individual shit. You know what I'm saying? See, or structure, like David Ruff, and his contradiction. However, it's a structure that say, man, you understand that your actions impact others. You know what I'm saying? And that's like even this, organizational question. There was a time where cats couldn't just pump no motherfucker. You just couldn't shoot no motherfucker. Because your action, what you did, the repercussions can come down and stay bill. You know what I'm saying? You ain't no just no clicking on this one block. You connected to some other you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? And the repercussions come down. You might say, man, I want to get this dude. It's a structure. Structure identifies stations, stuff like bullshit. Chicago it was known for, you know what I'm saying, for that. And one of America's policies is to create chaos and restore order. And a lot of cats have no frame of reference. Now, even the terms. We don't be ego-driven when we say Chairman Fred. It's a structure, checks and balances. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Indianapolis the other day. Talking to some young brother, the vice lords. I'm telling them the importance of our structure. See, it's a, just saying the root thing. When the police pull up on you, if he got his shirt on button, he say, hey man, what the hell, Joe? He could be physically in shape, but you lose respect him. You know what I'm saying? Because however, when he comes with that uniform on, it's connected to a structure. You know, you know what the judge gonna do to you. You don't know if you're gonna be next one for the plunge stuff in your ass. What you know what I'm saying? Structure. Our communities have been destabilized. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know who was who. And that's intentional. They were implementing new policies in the prison. They would come, they would shut us, lock the joint down. They would move motherfuckers around. When I grew up, I could walk the block. I can tell who was in which particular cell. You know what I'm saying? But now it's destabilized. You know what I'm saying? And this goes back. We say, okay, what does it got to do with the case of Larry? What does it got to do with everything's political? What does it got to do with hip hop? They do the drugs not community. It's structure. It's certain. Like the Panther Party have policies, rules. Like you say, getting high on duty. A lot of cats come from the arena. They say, well, you shouldn't be getting high. Period. Okay, that's you. You some sort of utopia work. We deal with the real world, and these different organizations were able to relate to certain cats. I told some cats before I said Chicago, you can talk to a cat, he can have no colors on. You talk to him in 2 seconds, you pick up which street tribe he's associated with, and it works for him. It's conducive for the ecosystem. See, it's a big thing going on right now. They're talking about in Minnesota in particular, how people been flushing these goldfish down the toilet. That ain't no thing. You feel like this is my toilet, my goldfish, I can do it. However, they have fucked the whole ecosystem up now. It's a big thing with these goldfish that's in the water. It's also known. So now you got these goldfish. They out there with complexes and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta eat. So they out of range now. They big goldfish now. There's also the ecosystem. I've been telling my cats they be trying to play with the Panther Party legacy. Use Chairman Fred's name. Use his name for bogus ass groups. As you fucking ecosystem up. It's a place for you. You know what I'm saying? They got softball organizations. Get in your lane. You hop on the expressway. What you know what I'm saying? Well, I feel like just walking down here. I don't feel like walking down the street. It's too crowded. Crime too bad. You walk on the expressway, you upset the ecosystem. Cars crash and everything. Like, how did this happen? Some dude walking on the expressway. How did this happen? Oh, they told me they were some Panthers. What? They don't fit the Panther protocol. They using Chairman Fred have the name. That's not no, you know what I'm saying? Street organizations. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain dynamic. And that's GDs, man. Them BDs. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times cats be so subjective, you know what I'm saying? They're not concerned with the extenuating circumstances. They'll come back and they'll grasp these cats' lyrics or whatever, throw them in front of, you know what I'm saying, Chief Ali, the chairman Larry Hoover, they parole board, and these don't, you know what I'm saying, say, well, these guys say with this organization, the Panther Party, they'll go grab some of these cats and throw them out there to justify who they really want to attack. Structure, you know what I'm saying, you understand, you connect, you know what I'm saying, like even I remember a case one time, and sister last name was Hampton. I said, what part of South your family from? She didn't know. We, you know what I'm saying, it's so, that's why I like telling people we call it culture national. We need to know about what's in Africa. I said, where you been at? These cats don't know what the connections with their people down south. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that whole structure, you know what I'm saying? And it's not no coincidence. Chicago has the most military academies in the country. It's not no coincidence. You have a whole, you creating it's a whole different crop of people. Like in Iraq, under George Bush Sr.'s tenure, at one time in Iraq, over 78% of the population was under 17 years old. So you had a whole generation of reactionary. Most people don't know what the fuck happened before them. You know what I'm saying? I commend y'all as artistic action. A lot of times y'all kids going like, this is the only about nothing, you know what I'm saying? That you knew about that, you know what I'm saying? It's important because you'll say nothing happens out of the vacuum. You know what I'm saying? You know, they'll have a frame of reference. We live in direct here, Freedom Radio, making history, taking history, and taping history, y'all. Again, the climate is hot. Haiti is hot. There have been assassinations. The Hampton House is hot. July 7th, there was assassination attempt. In those words, in those terms. Yeah, I'm talking about 2021. Yeah, live and direct. I'm talking. Yeah, I know everybody. We got black elected officials, so on and so forth. We talking. It's hot. Cuba, it's hot. When you see the president of the United States, talking about you want to encourage the people from Cuba that's doing great, putting the cables on their back. You know what I'm saying? Anytime, like I told y'all before, when the judge told me this lawyer next to me was the best lawyer I could ask, he got to go. I said, you like him. So you see the U.S. talking about they come in what's happening in Cuba. You got to be heads up. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. You talking about look at the history. Go back and check out the history of Comandante Fidel Castro. That had the Bay of Pigs. All this ain't nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. It's correlated. We live in direct. Mr. Comrade, give us a heads up. We got any callers in queue? Free them all. Now I know. Listen, make sure y'all call it 929-477-3785. I will be getting some calls on some cases. People locked up. This season time. You know what I'm saying? Georgia, some stuff going on in those side. Those concentration camps. Y'all feel free to call in. We're talking about also. You know what I'm saying? The cases. You know what I'm saying? In regards to Chief Malik Chairman Larry Hoover. You know, the recent denial. This is on the federal level. You know what I'm saying? Many of you remember the case on the state level. And this was the C numbers. In fact, I am self-critical. I know I missed the annual C number. You got to go out there too. Right on. How you dug it? Man, right on. Yes, indeed. For those who don't know, the C number, even annually, these are guys and women who have been locked up under the old law. The C number is supposed to stop in 1978. This is the indeterminate sentencing. And like the numbers, I forgot how's LA. But in Illinois, you have a B dash, such and such, C dash. But the C numbers, when you were going for parole here, like at the Larry Hoover, I think was sentenced to 100, 300 years. This is the indeterminate. Kind of like the move down in Philadelphia, where they had the indeterminate. You're going back in front of parole board here. In fact, we had some people calling last week because there was some struggles to bring it back. I have some issues, and we're still pushing for it because you got to be real careful with that parole board here. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of stuff, it looks good in theory, but I'm you know what I'm saying? I know we definitely we want to make sure we struggle like them kinks out of it because you know what I'm saying? You go back and look at the like stuff you may take for granted. Okay, well, who's going to be on the parole board? You know what I'm saying? And you be like, wait a minute, how was the same police that locked me up? His brother is on the parole board. You know what I'm saying? So you cannot take nothing for granted. I see your question, Cuz O'Key. I'm gonna give what you right about the Crips. Right on. C number they meet every year. So those who missed it come next year. I had spoken in Indianapolis, but Ike Taylor, so many other so many forces, man, that was there. And just the background, Larry Hoover's case too in the state case. Many people may don't remember the Pontiac 17 case. The Pontiac 17 case, this is, mind you, I'm talking about even this climate, what's going on now. There was a climate uprising was happening. It wasn't uncommon. You come out, like, and it wasn't no whispering. It was up front. What that, man? Charlie, what up? It was like, it was resistance. I'm talking about you had to, man, Attica, you know what I'm saying? Folsom, I'm not just talking about, man, this city, rebellions and uprisings happening everywhere is going down. So the political climate, there was a different dynamic going on, And so Pontiac. Pontiac was known later on, we brought it as the Thunderdome. Stateville was like the nucleus of the brain center. Pontiac was like the Thunderdome. You go there and get it in, you know. And what 1978, 77, 78. The uprising that happened in Pontiac. Please work with me, brother. Pontiac, Pontiac, the uprisings that occurred in Pontiac cannot be isolated to just the prison itself. You had people on the outside community fighting. How can they work on these cases to assist those brothers in the cases? You had a different climate. You had William Thoreau, author of the Civil Disobedience. It was we would assess that in an unjust society, the only place for a just man, was prison. As opposed to later on, there's so much damage done to what people were saying. Well, I ain't got no mama, my daddy got no. People was clear with the purpose of prison. So when uprisings happened, it wasn't no what y'all do wrong. And Larry Hoover was on that case of Pontiac 17, and not only Larry Hoover, there was in particular, there was also a combination of brothers of them, different street organizations, and that attack. And you know who also was a prosecutor on that case? The former mayor of Chicago, Mayor Richard Daley. He was state's attorney on that case. Daley Jr. was a prosecutor on that case, the Pontiac 17 case. Yes, indeed. Yes, we live and direct. My brother, you on speakerphone?
Yes.
What's happening, my brother? Hey, this is a brother. Hey, you live and direct was on Free My Radio. I don't know if I told you about the radio program we do every week. My brother just passed me the phone with you on it. This brother I grew up with, man. A lot of love and respect for you. You got an international listener audience. I don't know how much you heard. We got some legends in the building. Man, you know what I'm saying? Man, we love you, legend out there, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to give us, you know what I'm saying, a background, who you are, you know what I'm saying? And we you know what you got going on, the airways are open, my brother. Should I introduce you Solomon, Chinaman? How should I do this here?
Either way, brother. Either way you want to do it.
Both of them, different audiences, they gonna hear, you know what I'm saying? They hear that name, they gonna be like, okay, you know, man, Brother King Solomon, Chinaman, from the era I grew up in, man, this is Free My Radio. They can hear you loud and clear, man, so you feel free to jump in. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do it, man, so feel free. Any comments you want to throw in, just jump right in. So I get the phone right here by the mic, you know, so you see, I'm just flashing back to some days we had as youngsters, though, man. But we talking about the current climate, the deterioration, the attack on structure and organization. It was happening in our community. We talking about the attack on the Hampton House recently, this past July 7th, assassination attempt. We believe on my life. We talking about the assassinations, you know what I'm saying, that's happening in Haiti. We talking about the discussions in Cuba, talking the music. We talking about this, man. We got the founder of the Source magazine here. We got a young brother here, Eric, you know what I'm saying, he just came back from the trip with Chairman Fred is buried at the tombstone. So we not, you know what I'm saying, we ride, man. We ain't, we ain't saying don't go down that street, you know what I'm saying, we don't talk, don't make no left here. We hitting the alleys, the gangways, we ain't set tripping, we in New York, Chicago, Haiti, you know what I'm saying, we all over the world, you know what I'm saying, we got we tying it back in to you know what I'm saying, the politics of it. So feel free to jump in wherever you feel in, my brother. Well, listen, he loud and clear.
This is a blessing in life. This is a magnificent opportunity for me to speak with this audience. I'd like to introduce myself. First, I was known in Chicago as Chinaman. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, Inglewood area. This is where I met my brother here, my comrade, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. Me and him go way back as teenagers together. We rocked and rolled, we gang banged, we fought the wars together, we cried together, we laughed together, we used to rap together with the rhyming and rapping. We stood on the street corners together, we seen everything together. With myself, I always had aspirations to really move to the top of the Chicago street life, and that was an aspiration I had. I earned the name Chinaman from learning how to do martial arts. Briefly, as a youngster, I was real small. My mother, may she rest in peace, Khadija Muhammad. She was from that pro-black era, you know, just a cold-blooded soldier, a warrior, a mother.
and I was her oldest son, so she knew that she couldn't raise no punk, so she made sure that I learned how to defend myself. She's the first one to enroll me in martial arts class. I learned how to defend myself with the blessings of her. I used to wear the Kung Fu gis around, Kung Fu garb around, and that's how I earned the name Chinaman. Within that, I grew up in the structure of the Vice Lords organization, a very tight-knit organization. They were created in 1958, and it expanded through the whole city of Chicago, eventually reached the South Side, and I was one of the first brothers on the South Side to take an oath as a member of the Vice Lord organization. And I took that and went to work all over the city, moving and grooving, shaking and baking. Got involved with some nonsense with drugs and so forth. I ended up in Rockford, Illinois, where I walked right into a conspiracy, a crack cocaine conspiracy. Got picked up, and due to my past dealings in the criminal justice system, I was in the juvenile system, the state system. They gave me a mandatory life sentence, meaning that I was supposed to die in prison, die in federal prison. Within that journey, I reached a lot of levels. When I hit rock bottom, I actually cried out to God and self-help spiritually, and that helped a lot. I started seeing things from a whole different angle. My spiritual senses enlightened. I was able to converse with all different brothers from all different cities, countries, all different geographical areas, and I rose up from that madness. And by the grace of God, they changed that law. And I did 24 flat years over the mandatory life sentence and was released. Now I'm in a halfway house, waiting to come home in a couple of months. Within that, I see the madness that's going on right here in this whole, in every urban city in the United States. We have to change, we have to really come to grips on what's going on. It's a shame to say, but I got a voice. I got my brother Chairman Fred here. And whatever I can do with my influence to reach the youth, reach anybody that's going to listen to what's really going on, what's really happening, we got to find a way to keep ourselves from the graveyards and the prison system. We got to stop that. We got to find solutions to keep our people. And I'm going to ask this question to everybody, every sharp mind, and this is taking up right now. How can we keep our people from the graveyards and the prisons? Tell me, please, and I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to sacrifice my life if possible. But we got to come with solutions to keep us out the graveyard and the prison. Please.
It's man. It's I wish. Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, sad to say that I'm a product of this madness. Brother Fred will tell you, I did a full tour of the system. Juvenile, county, state, and now the feds. I did a full tour. You hear me? So now, since I've done that, and I'm alive and well and standing strong, I'm willing to stand up to fight against these injustices and a trickery that it's cool to go to jail or it's cool to be involved in criminal activity and all this. Man, all it is is trapped to knock your head off. That's all it is. We have to find another way. We have to find another way to create success in our lives. We have to find another mindset, you know what I'm saying, to help our children and teach our children, mentor our children. This stuff is not cool. It's not. Take it from a man who just spent 24 years with a mandatory life sentence in that madness. I prayed to God that I was to be released, and He did it. So I come out here with a message to let everybody know we have to come up with a new system. The system here that we're doing, it's not working. We got to come up with something else. Use me.
Excuse me, brother Chinaman. When you talk about what we experienced, because I was at your side, this system and this solution, we experienced one love. Speak about what I mean by one love when the DC boys, etc., and how we all came together as a whole, and how you couldn't tell the difference between a Vice Lord, a GD, a SD, etc., all because we had to prepare for adversity. But I'll let you finish that up, that true story.
Oh yeah, that's a magnificent story. Yes, I say 2001. In my 2001, I came in the system about 97. So by 2001, we all got word of the federal system that the DC brothers. Now these brothers here, I got to give them to them. I tip my hat to them, y'all. If a lot of DC brothers listen, I tip my hat to y'all. Y'all is some of the strongest and the most magnificent, sharpest brothers I've ever met in my entire life. Matter of fact, some of my best friends now from DC. To speak on that, y'all had a reputation, the DC reputation, really as oppressors. Okay, that's what we call them. Oppressing, because of y'all lifestyle, the DC lifestyle coming up, they had a prison system called Lorton. Lorton, I think it had probably, I say roughly about 25 prisons on one compound. It housed some of the most dangerous, violent, treacherous brothers you ever can name.
This is the federal system, correct?
No, state.
Lorton.
Okay.
State, right.
They call it the capital, right. DC.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Lorton.
Okay.
Lorton, man, it was 100 years. They had in prison for 100 years. And
right.
The prison time expired. So upon their expiration, they had to kick all these brothers out the system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they had to put them somewhere. So they said we'll put all y'all in the federal system.
Right.
About thousands and thousands of them brothers. You hear me?
Everything's a federal crime. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was, I'm gonna tell you, because I was right there. The CEOs and the administration and the feds was terrified of these brothers. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about terrified. I'm saying terrified. They were talking like some monsters was coming. You hear me?
My fault. Say the last part again, C. My fault. Say the last part.
Yeah. The administration and the feds sent the word out to everybody that some monsters was coming into the system.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So, we already heard stories about these brothers, so we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So, the top heads, they sent word down for us to consolidate our unity with each other, because we knew each other.
Yeah.
So we all got together and consolidated, all of us. We said, between us, no more fighting, no more arguing, no more doing none of that. Actually, the DC brothers' entry to the federal system was a blessing to us from Chicago.
Brother Prophet actually, he said, could you let the audience know you said us, like who you speaking about?
Us, I'm talking about every organization that's under 5-point star and 6-point star.
Mm-hmm.
GDs, Vice Lords, Blackstones, Coverstones, Latin Kings, Latin folks, any organization that was worked in Chicago is under the 5 and the 6 was a blessing to us.
Yeah.
Because what that did was the way they was talking, the way they blew them DC brothers up, how they gonna come in the system, all that stuff that we went through with each other in the streets went right out the window.
Yeah.
And not only that, when the heads, you know how Chicago is. Chicago is known for structure and organization, correct?
Yeah, correct.
So when the heads hit the word down for us to get together and unify, that was a law. They made that a law.
Yeah.
You understand? So we all got together and said, you know what? We're gonna do it. And we did it, man. And that was the best thing that we could have did. And when we came together, bro, we created, all of us together, man, you know what I'm saying, created a structure that was unstoppable, that was powerful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when these brothers came in the system, when they finally made it, we was already ready. We was already organized, put together, well structured.
Yeah.
So when they came in the system, they did their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If one was weak, they oppressed them. what I'm saying? And every time they tried us, we always stood up and let them know it ain't going down this way, my brothers. And they honored it and respected it.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something, man. I tell everybody, man, I wish that I went to D.C. instead of going to Rockford or any other town. I wish I went to D.C., man, and gave them brothers structure on how we move on the love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice for real.
Yeah.
Without all the garbage, man. I'm talking about the true essence of organization, to be there for your brother. You know what I'm talking about, Fred?
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
You know,
No
to
doubt.
bring people from the dark to the light. Because these brothers, man, are cold-blooded soldiers. I'll tell you that. They are the only group of brothers, man, who them people fear, man. And also the Mormon Brotherhood dudes. You hear me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They call them the DC Blacks. That's what they call them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's the documentary? It's on there.
Yeah.
The DC Blacks, man, they play no games when it came to that race card.
Yeah.
You know, and when they seen us, bro, we became some of their best friends, and I learned a lot from the brothers. The brothers cold-blooded soldiers, man.
Mm-hmm.
And their whole area in DC and then London was a jungle, and they created, man, some survivor brothers, man, that they go anywhere and make it, man. You hear me?
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
I remember when we used to leave the yard and things of that nature, we used to scream out, "One love, one love." We used to do security for each other. We used to watch each other back. In a crowd, when you used to see vice lords or GDs, you no longer seen that when we made that correlation. You seen crowds with vice lords, GDs, SDs, etc., etc. We was the only organizations that was respected so much that the white shirts, captains, ward, and all that, they let us do our thing for the simple fact. What I mean by doing our thing, they respected our structure. When one of the brothers got out of line, we disciplined them. So when we on the second floor and a guard walk by and they hearing that boo 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 boo, they keep on walking like they didn't hear nothing. Why? Because we was disciplined. The next thing is they was coming in our rooms, looking for the literature and things of that nature. What gives them so much power? What gives them so much strength? The same thing what they did with Fred Hampton's father, you know, trying to infiltrate. What gives the Black Power Party so much strength, so much organization? So me just as a representative, you know, I handled all the lawyer part, et cetera, et cetera. I told the leadership, I say, hey, let's just get into the literature, all besides our chain of command. So they can start coming into our rooms and things of that nature, and it would give us more respect with them. Because I knew, as being the literature teacher, that there's nothing in my reading and the study of our literatures and laws where we was created from the start will be detrimental to the running of the institution. Once the leadership took all our literature down to the SIS, that's the investigation department, and we told them, hey, tell your people to stop going in the room, shaking us down and things of that nature. Furthermore, when you see security on this person, tell your guards to don't be having their security called to get packed down. Why? Because you see, when these soldiers is on their security, they laughing in your face. Why? Because we got 200, 300 soldiers. Y'all got 100 fat boys who are out of shape. And y'all know y'all can't do no work because we trained to go every day, 5 days a week. Why? Because they done checked in the guns and the knives at the front door, at the gate. So you got to be trained to go. The same things that Fred Hampton father was doing, training them to go, saying, hey, listen here, ain't no more being abused and all that, turning the other cheek. Y'all ain't turned the other cheek.
We live and direct on Freedom Radio, making history, taking history, and taping history, y'all. Real talk. We got some legends in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all feel free to call in, but as we say, feel free to cub being with us. I see a comment on here too on this Freedom Conrad. I got you coming. Comment about the Crips. We haven't forgot you. Caller, come. Welcome from my radio. And don't let me forget, because we definitely will get the West Coast question in too. But okay, go ahead. Welcome from my radio. Right on. Welcome. Okay, that's what it is, bro. Yes, welcome, my brother. Talk to us. I know we looking for you. Big T gave us heads. You be calling in. Yeah, give us an update. The case was going on. The background. We just had some callers from Georgia prison.
He got caught up in the riot that happened down there, and he in a coma. And they won't give my mother no information, and they won't let him go. And it's been going on for like 2 years. And she done talked to a couple lawyers, and like nobody could get through. So we just in limbo with it.
This.
We don't want to see him a couple of times.
What's his status? Is he conscious now? He's conscious now.
Well, he wasn't breathing on his own at first, so now he's still in a coma. And they won't let him go, and so we just don't know what to do. They look like they hiding something.
Yeah.
They said he fell off the toilet, but we know that ain't true.
Want to give out, if you can, I want to hear the 2 or 3 prong tactic with this, if you can, bro. I want to definitely get his name and ID number, because as I said before, one of our campaigns is the one prisoner, one contact campaign. That serves a myriad of purposes. We drew the correlation to like a tactic that Adolf Hitler did in Nazi Germany. Was his first victims in the gas chamber was those who did not receive any mail. And like in Illinois prisons right now, there are prisoners who've been dead over in excess of 10 to 15 years, but the state still get paid for them because there's no accountability. So one, I want to include him. I want to get it with the one prisoner, one contact. I want to encourage all our listeners, all our viewers. You know what I'm saying? Again, I need those letters coming in to him. You know what I'm saying? This ain't it's my homie, whatever. We have to start putting stuff in the context of war. So I want his name and ID number. Don't you give me, if you got a contact or Facebook or social media contact, we'll put out some calls, in particular down in Mississippi. We got any legal assistance or attorneys that can, you know what I'm saying, aid and assist us on this case right here. We need y'all assistance on this here. So we'll give out his, his name and his name and contact, the ID number. If we can get that. 2, your social media contact, or you know what I'm saying, we can contact with him, and we want the full name. I want to so give me that right now. I'm gonna give you some more stuff too. I need is why you give. In the meantime, be giving us that. If you can't give us the contact, listeners, again, we need the one person, one contact on this ASAP. Directing him, and also putting out the call for some legal assistance. And also, thirdly, I don't know how it's set up there. I can't think. I remember last time we had some. Bring back on the speed. All the men, you know, like you know what I'm saying. I need to know that particular area, that hot spot. What's the political players? Who's name? Like in other words, when they say, man, such and such, they know particularly these causes, what have you. Like we went to go down south for the graves, like with Chairman Fred, a state rep met us and did a resolution around that. I need to find who, you know what I'm saying, who's the hot name down there, you know what I'm saying? And also when the next election coming up. So I need those 3 things. Give me those 2 now if you can. If you can't give me all 3 right now, that'd be good. But give me those 2 right now if you can, brother. Okay.
I'll get everything to Big T.
Complete.
All the info.
Edward Miller. I need the prison to contact the ID number. So I need everybody to remember this name. I need those letters going in ASAP. They study who's getting mail, who's not getting mail. I need a contact person. I need a commitment also, so consistently check back in with us You know what I'm saying? At least on the Freedom Radio. I'm gonna set some more interviews up for you also. Again, for those just tuning in, he's in a coma. Is he still in a coma now?
He was still in the coma. Okay. And he was there for like just for probation violation.
Wow.
And he was about to get out in like 2 weeks.
Wow.
And that happened. I didn't want to let him go. Yeah.
Wow. We definitely we own this, brother. You know, we own this. We need that. We need somebody to be calling in on a weekly basis with us. We own this. We need that ID number so we can, say, correspond to him directly. Edward Miller, you know the prison. You know the prison name.
Yeah, it's just what was the name? Yeah, they got the lawsuits out on. It was a big thing in Mississippi.
I recall.
Well, that same prison, all the brother died, and he got caught up in that.
Not because they closed Parcham down. They closed Parcham down. Was it Parcham?
He was in place.
In Parcham.
That's where
Right.
he was in place.
Okay, I got you.
That's where he was.
Parcham. Notorious history. I think Fendi Lou Haim was there too, I believe. With the Parcham. Matter of fact, it's a whole year. I got another connect I'm gonna connect you with the media, a major media contact. And Brother Big T told me, if you listen to the show, we got some good contacts in the studio with us too. You know what I'm saying? Got some legends from all sides of the border here. So everybody listening in to you right now. So get that. I'm gonna get that contact for us as soon as you can, so we can move on this. You know what I'm saying? ASAP. So, ASAP. Get that in your name, Edward Miller. Listeners, and we can go Parcham. Type the name in, track the ID number, one person, one contact, and Big T gonna be in contact with me. You know what I'm saying? Get that social media for you. I need that so people can be updated with the campaign with you. All right.
Okay. I'm gonna get everybody to Big T. Thank you, my brother.
Man, brother, anytime we at your service. We live and direct on Freedom Radio, making history, taking history, taping history. Y'all listen here. Hey, it's something else, man. I just came from Atlanta, man. You know, and listen. I've been going through some stuff. On another note, man, talking about this county insurgency, I had a scene at the scene, man. It was like reflective of the movie. That scene with Chairman Fred and William O'Neill's character and Bobby Rush is like stand up at the car. I had a situation like this, and this latest attempt at the Hampton House. Hey man, listen. When I was a Menard, they had given me the nickname Deja Vu. You know what I'm saying? Because man, it's like, hey, and I'm gonna say this too. After Hampton House was attacked July 7th, I thought July 8th, but it was late at night, July 7th. The scene of the people coming through and, you know what I'm saying, and fixing that door, it was reminiscent of the scene in the movie when they came through to fix the headquarters up. My comrade, Deputy Field Marshal, said, man, all right, Chan, we're gonna keep on going through these damn scenes. At last, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna keep on going through this here. But it's been some intense times, you know what I'm saying, as a late level, you know what I'm saying. But we're gonna keep on rumbling. We live and direct, y'all. Here, Freedom Radio, making history, taking history, taping history. Huh? Hello, Fremont.
Co-host is in now.
Okay, right on.
Right. So I'm in here now.
Okay, that's what it is. Right on. Fremont, we bring you up to speed. Yeah, man, we've been having, the brother just got up now. He's going to be updated on his cousin, Edward Miller, that was in Parcham. We don't know what particular place he's in, prison he's in now. Yeah, and we've been traveling the globe, you know what I'm saying? We got legends all over the property he left out. Okay, yeah. China man from the streets, he been calling in the history and everything. We got, man, well, Eric just gave a phenomenal update from the event, from the tombstone, the People's Pilgrimage. I can't get that. The People's Pilgrimage. We got Dave Mays, you know what I'm saying? Legendary Dave Mays. Y'all remember, I was surprised, young brother, he went back there, we, you know, saying, like, you know, the source and everything, because you know, on that, that's good. We get him in the building. You know what I'm saying? Again, y'all making history, taking history, taking history. This is Comrade. Any more calls in queue? Come on. Y'all feel free. Yes, sir. Please. You bring on the speed with this.
Oh, yeah. So,
I want to cut you off. even community, we talk. A lot of people talk about it. We have brought this up about the tours of the sites and how it impacted you, not knowing certain sites. You know what I'm saying? Not just say, talk about bad it. The proposal that you come back with. That's what Brother Eric will give us now.
Yeah. Thank you, Chairman. So this project will adequately address the lack of proper respect and recognition paid to the legacy of the Black Panther Party on Chicago's West Side. There are three main components of this project. First, we will write an advocacy journalism piece that will critically analyze key events from the assassination of Chairman Fred Hampton and the end of Black Panther Party political activity to today, mainly in the Mile Square area, the near West Side. We expect to uncover exactly what led to the erasure of the Black Panther Party's legacy and the work from the spirit of the community where they serve. Once the piece is published, we will advocate for a physical sign or plaque to be placed at the locations of 2337 West Monroe and 2350 West Madison Street. We intend for these markers to properly recognize the significance of the BPP's tireless work at these locations to uplift Black consciousness. Lastly, we will establish a tour company where guides will show Panther historical sites on the West Side. The tour company will utilize the BPP's practice of heightening the contradictions by having guests observe the juxtaposition of what used to be and what is now. Tours will be guided by local Black youth during the summer. Preserving this unique history will help mitigate the effects of rampant gentrification, or land grabbing as we call it, thus enabling future generations of Black youth to be proud and inspired to take action in their community. So that just kind of lays out like, all the three initiatives of the project, and just wrapping it up with the tour company, which will hopefully, provide employment for the Black youth out here.
Right on. What are you proposing? Do we get our own tour bus? We get another bus? How you envision it?
I was envisioning it as being like a bike tour, or we could get a tour bus too. But I just really wanted it to be led by our people and take place in the community where we at.
Okay. Right on. I got some people on push on the ASAP. I like. It's some other cats doing a bike tour recently. I like that, but at the same time too, I want to think about like, older cat. You know what I'm saying? That connection. So that and that bus we get that bus. Yeah, brother loans us a bus. We doing something right now too. I'm put this out while we at the audience. A retreat. Shout out like in Murder. They call it Murder Wheels now. To down to 45 minutes of Chicago to the farm area. You know what I'm saying? So that same bus we utilize for that. Also, this Saturday at 12 o'clock we'll be doing a ribbon cutting for the community refrigerator at the Hampton House, 804 South 17th Avenue. And we encourage you to come on out there, vegetables, that's what we're going on at the Hampton House. Come on out there. We're gonna have large showing, send a message that, you know what I'm saying, attack, we still fighting back. You know what I'm saying? We still getting down. So that's this Saturday. I'm speaking of something this Saturday too. I can't recall what that is though. Let me get on this brother here from this West Coast. Who keep on tapping it. I want him to be like, man, y'all tripping. Said trip, y'all talking all about this DC, New York, and Chicago. Ain't saying about the West Coast. I see you, brother. Real talk. Let me commend you. Right on. So that's my thing. Hit me before Friday. I got another some other people want to throw this in. I forgot to call this other cat too. It's a big. Don't y'all forget August 30th and 29th. August 29th. Proviso East High School. Throw my slug in at y'all. They finally gonna acknowledge Chairman Fred. It's gonna be a hall. They make it official. That's August 29th. August 30th, we get the annual Chairman Fred Street Party. It's on your calendars. Now, West Coast, what it do? Okay, now remind me the question. Okay, I know we talking about the Crips. Okay, now give me your question again. Cause keep right. That's the same viewer, right? Bring me back up to speed. We used to ask about the question about the Crips in particular. I'm with you. So type. Okay. No. Are you from Charlotte? My fault. North Carolina. Okay. Okay. So okay with the Crips. I got you. Okay. So what was the okay? And the question. Okay. Like did you put the question before? Because they see. We've been fortunate to have representatives of not only the Crips but the Bloods also on Freedom Radio number of times. there are many similar dynamics. Now, like California has the largest prison population of Chicago. Cub and community condolences. In fact, we just talked about Sayika Shakur's death the last 2 weeks ago, aka Monster Cody. How you feel about in general? Oh, you said, okay, because he said the question. I guess says, how do I feel about the Crips in general? Organization is important, and it's something that it's not some of the sentiments I just put out just now in regard to Chicago about structure. Right, exactly. Community representative, and it was a big fight. It was I think even with who was his mayor in L.A. Around this time. They was fighting about trying to even to change the word to reform. There was a big discussion about that, and the deal is, this is a concern that we should have any dynamic when we talk about music, movements, organizations, what have you, in regards to going to certain arenas, because even language is important. How certain things get the people say, that's not a big deal, but the terms, what I'm saying, there's a big fight about that. Tom, what's his name? L.A. I almost said it. So I see his face. Can't think of Tom. I see the face. I can't. Watch. I get this from my grandmama on my mother's side. Once a man stuck on it, it's gonna be all night thinking about Bradley. There you go. Right on Bradley. Bradley. And there was a big thing about that, about like even the acronyms. You know what I'm saying? And it's this to you with Kazoki in particular. Right on. Hey, my sister just tuned in. Right on. Lisa Joy Powell. Right on. So the dynamic of the answer, the heart of the question. We look at, and I spoke at the funeral services. Well, actually, we had went to the Leimert Park after Stanley Tookie Williams, who coincidentally had the same birthday, exactly December 29th. And I recall at the funeral service and acknowledging some, when I was, it was one brother that grew up with him, and there was some other entities that was having issue with him speaking. I said, well, this is a constant contradiction. You know what I'm saying? I remember a brother I grew up with. Damn, ironically, China Man know him too. I came in for his funeral, and I said, damn, and how they try to take that even self-determination with you, even in death. And I went to and I said that Tookie Williams had grew up in a climate similar to so many people who was deprived of such an organization as the Black Panther Party. And the deal is, a lot of people have the movement. I'm glad you asked the question, because some people have the incorrect narrative that we're on. That they're trying to make everyone a revolutionary. When you listen to Chairman Fred, back to the importance of words. Chairman Fred said everyone should be able to commit a revolutionary act in their life. Some point of unity is not, again, because there's a difference between a revolution and a war. A war is two occupying armies where you suit up and you boot up and you get out to get out. A revolution, on the other hand, you gain the mass of participation of the masses of the people. So some points of unity. Case in point, example, Vietnam. With the music, they refer to the propaganda bombs. They would drop these bombs, and the leaflets would pop out in particular places like Saigon, where a lot of the black soldiers were concentrated at. And the radio shows will say certain things. You're like, well, why are you over here fighting? You just killed Chairman Fred Hampton. You just killed Dr. Martin Luther King. And the organizations had to have some point of unity. So you see, like, man, on the history, like even the Slausons, our apprentice Bunchy Carter, who later became the Deputy Minister of Defense for the Black Panther, Los Angeles chapter of the Black Panther Party, who was subsequently assassinated January 17th, along with Deputy Minister of Education John Huggins, 1969, on UCLA campus. So Bunchy Carter, the previous of the Slausons, later on, it was the Black Panther Party. But however, there were certain forces. You see, it's important to look at the different dynamics of music and artists pre the party, pre-revolutionary movements, and say, okay, now you see the Stones, the athletes, you know what I'm saying, the Crips, the Blood, you know what I'm saying, but also the Crips, also like a lot of organizations that void, you know what I'm saying. In fact, it was some good points laid out in the documentary by the bastards of the party. However, I do say I had an issue with the title of it. because the deal is, it kind of, it implied like, you hear terms like bastard, it insinuates that, that the fathers, when you left them, you abandoned, abandoned them. But the party did not die away. The party was just, was military defeated, it was attacked, and so that void, and because deal is, organization is something that's going to happen. Like in Chicago has been known for that, and it's not some sort of, I'm saying, so, like Chinaman was talking about it too. It's not just out of your own volition. Like whoever you're colonized by, you're impacted by that. Like in Brazil, the drum, the beat is still something, because because the Portuguese in particular never made the drum illegal. North America made the drum illegal; it was outlawed. And so certain dynamic, like the organizational questions, it's a reality, and that is something you always have to put stuff in context of what location you at. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that when you had a discussion, to put it in context. And I know, I'm glad you pointed out to me that you in, I think, North Carolina, because it's because nothing like I say, like like you, like even with laws, like policies, and you say, okay, certain things can fluctuate, like like even with the Panther Party, there were certain things that can, you say, hold on, this can occur here, but there's a general law. You know what I'm saying? So even with the Crips, I'm glad you pointed to a different location. Now, I don't know how to press this, comrade. You actually request to come on. If I do this thing, I mess up this whole lie. They're gonna be mad at me, because y'all know me. I'm still stuck with two cans of string on technology. I'm gonna try this though. You asked to come on, I'm gonna touch it. As you asked to come on, it's just you might press it on mistake, by mistake. Now you did on mistake in front of me, y'all. So, comrade, stand here. Back to Fremont, comrade. Yeah, he did on mistake. Let me catch you out.
We have caller 661.
Oh man, see
Thank you,
Fremont. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Fill me out, comrade.
Fremont, how are y'all today?
All right, Fremont. Go back to my live video.
I'm doing well. I actually called last week. This is Dee, and I'm just glad you're okay, Jeremy. My husband woke me up from the studio, and he was watching it live about what happened at the Hampton House. So I'm so glad you're okay. And I wanted to call in because I just feel like, especially for our generation now, we're becoming more conscious. The voices, when they get silences, we already are prone to indifference. And I just don't want to see that tilt back to indifference and feeling like there's no difference that can't be made. So I'm just so glad that you're okay and you're still out there and helping the brother about what's going on with his fam in prison, and just that you're just still here pushing through and stuff. So I definitely appreciate it. And I was listening to your comment about the Crips, and it's crazy because when I first moved out to California, one of the first people that had got released that we were helping out down in San Diego was actually Monster, was actually locked up in the county where we were at.
Okay.
And he was telling stories about how growing up with Crips, and that was the first time I had really heard that side of the culture, the family, and kind of tying that into the Black Panthers and things that were going on in California. So it was interesting that you brought that up, because that was one of the first stories I heard about coming out in California. So I think a lot of people don't really understand how important like the revolutionary culture was, and how detrimental it was when it just so abruptly.
You still there, Colin? You still there? We lost her.
I think they're still online. Are we lost?
Okay, well, if you can hear me, thank you for the concern. Let me just, for the record, I don't want to draw no foregone conclusions. Thank you to my best security. Thank you to the people. Thank you to the people. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. I mean, thank you to the people. Revolutionary love, respect, and appreciation. Thank you. More and more information is coming out, but sometimes I gotta. But I won't do personally. You know what I'm saying? Certain, you know what I'm saying. But I owe it to the people. To more stuff is going to come out. You know what I'm saying? And we, you know what I'm saying. And it's you know what I'm saying. I am a. a microcosm, I guess, or what I'm saying, what's going on in our community in general. So, but we're gonna be updating y'all as we go. So, but again, thank y'all, man. I am honored to serve. Thank you to the people, what I'm saying, the check-ins, the call-ins. Calls have been coming from the streets to the penitentiaries. I'm talking about from some of the names I mentioned, leaderships. You know what I'm saying? Give me calling, checking to make sure we all right, we good. I do not take it for granted. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Cat's been on me. You know what I'm saying? Tighten up. Brother, one cat called me, donated, said, man, I'm put some more dogs over there. So we got the Hampton House Hounds. He said, I'm putting some more dogs over there, son. So thank y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank the people, real talk. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor to serve. Something you said, she had said secondly, I wanted to respond to under Christian Bloods. It was something she said. Oh, these organizations, and nothing was detached from being impacted. One, I remember 2002, they had a players picnic or something. And I remember we was going, walking, we going? And they were like, man, we ain't going that damn thing. And one young lady, she say, oh, they going to dress some business. We going. And so it was Columbus Park and Cold Hard Crucial Complex. You might remember that. We went up to the thing, and it was like antagonistic. You talked to she's been up here?
Not in the last few months, but
we got to connect up for you. Yeah, man. Cold Hard, you dig? That's our man. And we were talking about the role. One of the few minutes to address the stage about political prison and stuff, and one of the players there, Minister Seymour, he said, man, how you know that we ate at the breakfast program? I said, listen, man, Phyllis, dialectical materialism. Ain't no, y'all can't, when I grew up on the west side of Chicago, one of the recipients of their breakfast program, and sister said one time I spoke, and she said, she's a blood out of Harlem. She said, I learned about Assata Shakur through my literature. The black gangsters, their impact about it, talking about how, the relation, the party that they had, how later on they put the history of Hannibal in their literature. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And Larry Hoover was quoted. This wasn't no speech laid out finna do on y'all know they put a microchip in his visiting pass. He was quoted as saying the Panther Party was one of the most progressive organizations, if not but the most progressive organization of the 20th century. The party, its impact, its connection to the people. You know what I'm saying? I'll be going on, give examples with the Crips, the Bloods, the Vice Lords, you name it. And that interwoven relationship with the artists, with the community, with the people cannot be downplayed. And that, the answer to the brother's question earlier, we draw the lines. We say what Leonard said. We see you in situations how you view the state and the state views you. We up the ante. So the lines cannot be just regulated to that's East Coast, West Coast, Scorpio, Capricorn. But that of whose interest do you work in? Who do you relate to? That of the state and the people, or state or the people. With that being said, y'all, we need y'all to keep your heads up, eyes on the fist clenched. We need you to make sure you keep the cases of Sunday out of Coley. Umi Abu Jamal, Rochelle St. Q. McGee, Larry Hoover, Jeff Ford, your brother, your cousin, sits down the street, Edward Miller. On our minds and hearts, we say, what's the call? Free them all. It's been an honor. It's going to be an honor. Let's continue to make history, take history. Again, y'all, we need to see y'all live and direct this Saturday. If you have not donated, make sure you go to Cash App, $ Save the Hampton House. SaveTheHamptonHouse.org and keep updating, you know what I'm saying? Bring that best resource, yourself, the people. Come on out to 804 South 17th Avenue to what the programs we're doing. Keep your heads up, eyes on the fist clenched. Let's make history. Let's take history, tape history. Same time, same station. How they say in church, Lord willing, the creek don't rise. We on deck, y'all. That's what it is, y'all. What's the call? Free them all.
Free them all.
Sister Conrad, take us out. What we got? Y'all make sure y'all take this show, repost it. Let them know it's live and direct. Legends in the building. What you got to take us out with?